just me or is there spinach in it? There's spaghetti models and empty rum bottles, and sometimes Louis says hi. Hey, Louis. But you don't get no hurries and don't have no worries, cause we're drunk donkey nationwide. Everybody now. Finds where the page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. You know it's finds where the page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Did I ever tell you the story of the drunk donkey? Once upon a time, there was this weather woman. You can come as a pilot, you stay kind of quiet, but you know you love watching Mike's face. So put your cone head shirt on, watch it live on your phone, and drink drunk donkey beer all day. Mike's web page. You know he'll be tracking every move that makes. Mike's web page. You know he won't let us all get blown away. Is that Blobby Bobby? I think that's Juicy Jerry. Yeah, Mike, throw a party, man.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Oh my God, I just happened to look over comments. James, that's hilarious. He said he's on hold with customer service. You are experiencing longer than usual wait times. Or how about this one? Please listen. Oh, there goes the countdown timer. I messed up. Please listen carefully as our menu options have changed. Well, first off, who can remember the menu options from every place that you call? So that's it's, and they all say the same thing. We're experiencing longer than usual. What's usual? Have you ever called anybody and said, "Hey, guess what? You're going to be call times are faster than usual"? No, they're always slower than usual. Oh man! All right. So I know we got a lot of folks, hopefully in Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. If you're watching, you're one of the few because there's a ton of power outages. I think last time I saw Puerto Rico's up to over 500,000, and 50 or 60,000 in the U.S. Virgin Islands. For some reason, the power outage map is not showing Puerto Rico. I think they did that. I think I heard they did that a couple years ago. They didn't want people to see the power outages or something. I don't know. I'll show you what we can see though. But anyway, this is Hunter. He was feeling a little emotional today. He was crawling up on my leg, so I grabbed him. He gets BOGO. He had kind of like Ernesto with the BOGO blobs last night. Hunter gets BOGO days back to back. So we'll show Louis tomorrow. Louis crawled up into a little ball over there. He doesn't want to be bothered right now. But anyway, well, it's Wednesday. We're going to talk Tropics. We got Ernesto. We got a lot of graphics to show you where it's going, what it's doing now. We're going to say hello for a little bit first, as we always do. It's our Daily Brew. Come to you live from Oldsmar, Florida. It is a little town here between Tampa and Clearwater. We've been streaming live since 2016 here on Facebook. Now we expanded out to YouTube and X and Instagram and TikTok. Also have our MWP chat area, exclusive home for our supporters and subscribers through our website, not subscribers anywhere else. But yeah, sometimes they turn the power off to be safe. But anyway, Robert Bowman, what's up, buddy? You driving? Got our dates for the snowbirds out. Lots of wind in the Virgin Islands there, Toady says. Yep. Catherine's got a dog named Louie. This little guy, I don't know, man. He just like puts his head up and... You are experiencing longer than usual wait times. All right, so it's Wednesday. Proud sponsors of our Daily Brew at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. talking to them last night about our new tropical IPA that is coming out. I finally posted the picture of the label. So that's coming next month. Kind of the second official start of hurricane season, at least in Florida. We tend to worry more about late September, October, even November. So kind of where we're at. But big thanks to ABC. Here's a picture of that can I shared last night in case you missed it. There it is. That's our logo on the can. Spaghetti Model IPA. So excited about that. Lots more to come on that in the next few weeks. Let's put it on the official cone here while we say a few more hellos. That's the latest 5 a.m. cone. They have the new experimental cone out now. It looks a little different, right? No more shaded day 4, day 5. The edge is not as dark. It's white, it's got a white outline now. But should show inland watches and warnings, but because the marker is so thick, it covers all of Puerto Rico's tropical storm warnings are in effect currently. So unfortunately, it has not wiggled much. It has done this little funny zigzag. So we got a cold front coming down that's picking it up and steering it a little bit Thursday, Friday. Then that high pressure builds back in, and it's going to kick it back west again. And every so little nudges here and there have been nudging a little more to the west for Bermuda. Still way too close for comfort for them. But what's really happened is, Nova Scotia obviously is next on the list, and they're obviously very closely watching this system too. So that's where we're at. It is not 2 blobs. It is not 2 systems. There was a lot of panic last night. I don't know what was going on. Lager. Bill, the plan is to do a Louis lager. We already had a can with Hunter on it years ago. Now we're planning for the future. I would love to see a Louis lager. What about that? Let's take a look at satellite right now. How about radar? This is what's going on right now. Starting to develop an eye. The blob's interesting, Lori. They're always... I have a shirt that we made, actually, that said we chase blob. For some reason, all these storms end up kind of like on infrared satellite mainly, never underneath the structure. All right, let's let you down. You're such a good boy. What's up, Ken? Let's say hi for a couple minutes. William. All right, William. Sorry, buddy. Doesn't like the snoring. Sorry, man. Never had that one mentioned to us. What's up, Richard? David, what's up? Mobile, Alabama. It'll be chilly for you, David. Maybe Friday and Saturday. Maybe 60s. Nancy, no, this is a Frenchie. Second smallest Frenchie on the planet. Judith, I know, right? Oh, a lot of people don't like the new cone, Martha. No. And it will have a lot of color in it once it gets going a little bit more with land mass. We'll see how it goes from the public. Thank you, Bob. The dates on Bermuda, yeah. Well, Friday night. We'll post. I'll talk about that here in a second. Greenville, South Carolina. Good morning, Deb. We'll see. 60. Now, listen, when I say some, we'll see some. That means not everybody. So, and when I say 60s, it's probably like 68 or 9. But anyway, we're going to see all about that. All right. So the radar is incredible, right? Oh my God. So that big blob that we saw last night on infrared, there was no spin on, there's somebody started a thread that there was going to be 2 systems. One's going to go west and basically insinuated the United States needs to be watching, meaning continental U.S. But that ain't happening. So, whatever. I mean, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but it came from a page that said NOAA official updates. And that to me is drawing the line a little bit when you have a page that says NOAA official updates. Because you see that and you think, and they even use the NOAA logo. That's a little deceiving. Yeah, so I think that's borderline. Where do we draw a line on mine just says Mike's weather page. Not very official. It's not like anybody should take me very serious. So anyway, but that's a lot of rain going on right now. This is incredible satellite. This is radar from the National Weather Service in Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, St. Croix. They're all getting it. Those two little islands in the middle, I don't even know what the names of them are. I apologize. People live on those two little islands? I'm sure they do. I can only learn so much geography in one season, all right? But yeah, it's crazy rain. And it's pumping in. There's your eye right here. There's your eye way up there. In case you're wondering. And you can see everything circling in towards that eye. So unfortunately, that blob that we saw last night is continuing to pull moisture up into a lot of folks here. So that's going to continue here for a little bit as the storm pulls away. A lot of rain. Luckily, there's no hurricane official winds, so gusts, but rain's a big deal. A lot of flooding. But I put that satellite on my website so you can take a look at it. It's right here. So if you're curious, before it runs out of range, that's where it's at. So here's again your time stamps. We're going to get into all this here real quick, but 2 p.m. Friday, it should be a major hurricane, and it might weaken a little bit. 1:15, they're saying 2 p.m. Friday, 1:10 now as it approaches on Saturday morning. Remember, you'll start to feel the effects way before the actual storm gets there. Here's another graphic, just kind of showing you how that now I got called out today. I say don't ever put the center line out there. So what do? I put the center line out there. The reason when you put the center line on a larger landmass, let's say, too much focus is on that where it's hitting and not the whole landmass. Like, if this thing was hitting, Tampa, then people down at Fort Myers and Naples wouldn't be focusing as they should. Since we're only talking about one particular 20-mile island, it kind of made sense to show where the line is. Because, I don't know, it makes sense to me. But anyway, it's been slowly bumping a little to the west. But unfortunately, this is the dirty side of every hurricane. So they're still preparing for a possible major hurricane. And, they don't get hit very often. I did that graphic a few days ago. They average, a hurricane within 10 miles, maybe one every 10 years, maybe? Every 8 years, maybe? So, other graphics that are important, just so you know, if you're worried about it and you're living up there, when can you start seeing tropical storm force winds? As early as Friday, early. Friday, maybe around 4 a.m. They're an hour behind because of Central Daylight Time, so it's 8:30 over there, or no, 10:30 over there in the morning. It's weird, right? You would think it goes the other way, but because of daylight time, they're on AST time. And I believe it's an hour off. I think, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Bermuda. Should be, I think it's 10:30 over there right now. 10:35. Oh, hey, Harry's over there on St. Thomas right now. A lot of rain over there, buddy. Hour ahead. So what does that mean? Is it? Yeah, but it's 8. What time is it over there right now? I have no idea. What? If somebody's in Bermuda right now, what does your clock say? Hot and humid. Well, that's going to change. We got a little cool front coming. All right. So there's your timing. Nova Scotia is watching, obviously. Maine's in the circle, but that's the 5%, area. Technically, you're not in the cone, so Nova Scotia is. But if you're up there in Nova Scotia, this weekend would be later Saturday night into Sunday morning if you were to start to get direct impacts this weekend. Other things that I have opened up here. Let me close out some things. We got the radar done. Here's satellite. All right, let's leave this up here while we say hello. So classic S-shape taking form. It's amazing to see the S with a big burst of convection here by center. And that is starting to wrap around. So definitely getting stronger. You see these bursts of convection, and you'll start to see the lightning here soon, I'm sure. And that's will be a sign that the eye wall is getting stronger. So close to the Bahamas and to Florida, but yet so far. Nothing else. Oh, it's 9:35. What? Oh, it's 10:35. See, I knew it. 10:35. And thank you. Oh, we got all kinds of people. Well, Keith, there's actually 63,000 people that live in Bermuda, not 17. There's more people that live in Bermuda than my hometown of Oldsmar. $63,500 people. And there's nothing else in the tropics right now. So this is it. This is getting all our attention. We're not going to make stuff up. All right, another one I want to show you here is this infrared. So we had this blob last night, and man, I've never called any pages out, but there was a lot of hype about this blob becoming its own hurricane and going off towards the west. But no, it was separated by Puerto Rico, and it was this flare up from the convection of 500 millibar winds were fueling it as the circular rotation was, stretched out a little bit. But now all this is catching up to the main part of Ernesto right here. So this is all going to pull away soon here for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and make its track towards Bermuda. Latest hurricane hunters are out there right now. I got that link on here. You can see them, track it. This is the center somewhere here around 19.8, 67.2 maybe. Pressure 993. Still got some big winds on the northeast side. This is obviously very important to every landfalling hurricane. Is the northeast side has the big winds as the storm wraps around. Ian had strong winds on the northwest side though. There was another hurricane in 2022, another storm in 2022 that had northwest. There's something that hit up in the Gulf, and I remember we were all talking about it. How it had stronger northwest winds than you normally see, and Ian, I think, had a little more stronger winds on the northwest side when it made landfall. A lot of surge, yes. What's up, Chris, Cape Cod? Track a little bit further east at 4 p.m. yesterday. It was, yep, I got there's a lot of stuff off Africa, yeah, but man, it's nothing. It's a little too high, and just, we look at models. There's not any model support. Jonathan's in Puerto Rico right now. Quiet night, but a lot of rain, right? Punta Gorda, Richard. That was your anniversary yesterday, Richard, right? Scott down to Bahamas. Anybody going to Daytona next week? I had to make an adult decision. I was actually going to fly to Bermuda, and we have one of our great brew crewers, Lori, helping me, but there's a good chance the airport might have several days of being closed. A lot of bridges in Bermuda, and didn't know that one of them was washed out from a past hurricane. And, I want to get home Sunday because we're going to Daytona. So probably wouldn't have been a smart decision. They're very strong. You know that they have the toughest building codes there, and they're very resilient to hurricanes. Built very tough. I'm not sponsored by Ford, so I can't say Ford tough. Even though I have a Ford. Here are the latest spaghetti models. These just came out. These are on Tropical Tidbits. Our buddy Levi. You can see a little wiggle wobble. So we have the frontal line coming down Thursday, Friday. It's definitely opening up the door for this thing to ride around our high. So that's helping spin it temporarily. Well, then the high gets stronger and pushes our system back a little bit. And there was a little low pressure coming in secondary, but it's always a battle of what wins. So this high actually is changing the tracks a little bit more towards the weekend, pushing it a little bit more northeast there. So definitely Nova Scotia, and we never did figure out if it's Newfoundland or Newfoundland. I think Newfoundland sounds better. Hey James, good morning, Maddie. Thank you. So there's that. We're gonna talk about waves in a second. Definitely gonna have big waves Thursday, Friday. Joe likes the dogs. We'll do a special show just on the dogs. Yeah, Mary, I found it fascinating. I did some homework on it. All right, so that's what's going on with this tracking of this thing. Latest spaghetti models here on weathernerds.org, GFS. They're all showing that zigzag north, all showing Bermuda really somewhere underneath these lines. A little bit off Nova Scotia there, Newfoundland. Euro's a little bit more off to the west, still with that zigzag, and could be impactful here as this thing heads that way this weekend. Have to see about that. Let's look at a couple things here. So going back to my page, we have another spot. I thought maybe I didn't think they would, but I thought maybe they would just because it hasn't gone away. We've had this little guy tagging along all week long, and models aren't doing anything with it, and NAC's not doing anything with it. So it's just a tropical wave. But if you're wondering, it's nothing. So not even a 10% circle. I pulled this map up. I wanted to show you. This is the dust map. This is where we're at right now. This is the African dust, dry air in the atmosphere. So our system now created its own little environment here. This is Ernesto, so it's kind of battled off a lot of this dust. But look right behind it here. This is that dust, dry air currently. So that little wave that we got behind Ernesto is sandwiched in all this dust. And we got more coming off of Africa. So these big blobs that are coming off of Africa are dealing with some very dry, dusty air. Now, typically this is supposed to be gone in August. So Mother Nature, again, every year, something throws everybody for a loop. And this is kind of slowing the tropics down. Peak season's less than a month away. But more dust is coming off of Africa, which is going to really hamper any waves that try to get going. And I'm going to show you something else too, but we do have waves coming off Africa farther to the north of the Cape Verde Islands, and that's tricky. That's kind of what Debbie did. Merged with another tropical wave and figured it out, but not typically your most favorable tropical condition for storms to develop. They usually come off around 10 degrees, 12 degrees. These are coming off a lot higher. But anyway, the dust is there. That's why that wave isn't doing much on that. Let's look at the wave map just because somebody was asking, and I'm curious too. So let's take a look at the waves. Surf's up, dude. Let's keep it on the Southwest Atlantic for right now and load up the wave map. This is currently the waves. So yellow's 10 foot. This is not surge. Remember, they they don't come in on the coastline as 30 foot, but they do create swells, and the shelf gets shallower, so they kind of but it pushes a lot more water in. So when you see yellow, surf's up. How about that? And this is kind of what happens. This is the Euro. This is our frontal line. So we're already getting strong east winds today because of the front line that we got. Newfoundland. There you go, Stephanie. I like it. I can remember that. It's fun land. Brew Brewers are talking about some interesting coffee recipes over there. I just like mine's strong. Like Cat 5 strong. Connie, I don't know when the last one hit Bermuda. We can look it up. Rain for Florida, Jessica, very little. We got this front coming through. There's going to be some spotty rains popping up. The winds are shifting a little bit. They've been coming in off the Gulf. We've had sneaky morning rains, but nothing organized. All right, so here's what we got. Here's our developing system. Now, Euro's showing 53-foot waves, so hopefully all the captains out there know this is coming. I'm sure they do. There's our front line. There's our system, Ernesto. This is tomorrow morning. And there's when we start seeing the biggest waves happening Thursday afternoon into Friday morning. So as we get into Friday morning, we're starting to see the bigger waves get close to the eastern seaboard here. And Friday could be pretty choppy. Carolina's down south. Here's the big waves going towards Bermuda. Now, they don't have a shallow shell, so they don't get the surge like we get here on the continental U.S. But nonetheless, they're on the worst side of the storm. 77-foot seas. So it will take a beating if this passes just off to the west there. Man. All right, and let's look at the whole picture here, tropical Atlantic, and kind of show the whole seaboard here. We'll feel some sort of waves. This is Saturday morning, so after Carolinas, obviously the waves start to head up to mid-Atlantic and New England there. And then depending on where it goes, obviously it's going to affect whoever it goes to. But, there's some pretty heavy coastal action for Maine here on Monday morning. And then, of course, if it hits Nova Scotia, it would be Monday morning there up through that little gap. But that like something Maine, they call that gap. Something Maine. I think that's a Maine gap. But anyway, boom. That's the latest Euro. So we'll look at all the individual models here now in a second. And again, there's nothing else showing. Let me just get that off of... we got this model. In fact, I'm going to close it here in a second. I dislike these models a lot. I've always say it. I say it. They're wrong half the time. I mean, we just had a very aggressive one that didn't pan out. Now, they got another one that's aggressive. So this is for August 21st to 27th. These came out yesterday. August 28th to September 3rd. So a lot of this is just history, I think. A lot of it's just where we should see tropical activity, but take it for what it's worth. Until we get something, we're not going to make stuff up. But obviously the peak of season's around the corner, right? Right. Okay. Let's look at individual models. This is very important for Bermuda. Let's look at the H-Wharf. Here we go. Let's see what it shows for strength as it deepens towards the island, and unfortunately it's showing 959, just a tick off to the west, but those are the heaviest winds, 10-meter winds here. Ugh, man, the strong stuff, right? This is Saturday morning. The latest HMON, oh man, same thing. Boom, worst part of the storm passing right there off to the west, and this would be Saturday morning. So again, for some, just the way hurricanes work, the strong winds are always wrapping around on the east side typically, and that's the worst spot to be in. HAFS A showing a little bit more to the west. That would be better. You wouldn't get the strong stuff. Has B showing almost the same. A little more closer to maybe Bermuda here. So, and HMON's intensity was a 965. So it's not that, I mean, it is very strong, but it's not 940 strong. 966. Cat 2 for sure on a 966. Latest GFS showing it, ironically, on the other side of the island, which is not good because if you get models splitting it, sometimes you go down the middle and that ends up being the case. But 963 to GFS just off to the east. Euro doesn't show up, I don't think. Oh, there it goes, Euro. Euro is actually right on top of it. Boom, literally right on top of the island. There's the island right there. So you get the idea. Now, let's look at long range here. How close is this going to get to the East Coast? Well, GFS does not. It goes that. Euro 00Z bounces a little closer to Nova Scotia now. So definitely, you know, this would be start to feel the effects late Sunday. But that's, you know, pretty close to Nova Scotia there on the latest Euro. We're seeing this high pressure here build back in a little stronger. This is that high we talked about, getting a little stronger, kicking us back to the west a little bit. This is a little weaker than originally thought on the Euro there. Canadian showing it more of a swing, missing everything, so that's a good trend. Now, Icon is the only one still showing an aggressive 949. But it didn't do very good with this model. But it is tracking it smack dab over top of Bermuda. So the Icon has not done that great since Barrel. Didn't do very good with Debbie at all. There's a cool link here on my site called Guidance, right here, Guidance, and you can track performance on who's been doing the best for every storm. This is really cool. This is on his website from University of Albany, from Brian Tang, and here's your models and your mean absolute error, 48 hours out. 24 hours out. Soon we'll have a 72-hour out because we'll have a new 24, so this will all bump. But what's kind of weird about this system is the CMC in orange was number 1, and number 2 was the Euro. Now, for Debbie, they were 2 of the worst. That's why we take a blend of models, and you just kind of, you got to look at them all, then you get a feeling of what's going on, you know. This is your lowest track error here. And then what's really kind of crazy is the UK in green did so good with Debbie, and it hasn't done very good long range out, or has the H-Wharf. This is for track. So it's a cool site to mess around with. If you want to see trends, okay, like 6Z official forecast trends, here's the NHC track and their last 5 updates. So we have, 5 a.m., 11, basically the last 36 hours. So if anything, they've tracked a little bit west each time. The lighter the blue, the darker the blue. So this is pretty good consistency on the NHC track. They haven't had a lot of shift. Remember, Debbie and Barrel, we had a lot more unknowns. But right now, their track has been pretty spot on. And you can do the same thing here with the Euro. You can see that the Euro has really gone off to the west compared to a couple runs before. That is a big spread in the Euro. Canadian, pretty solid. This is their last 5 or 6 runs, HMON. So it's kind of neat to look at. Your consensus models have slowly been bouncing around here past Bermuda, but extremely tight. That's why the confidence is pretty high on the track, if you're curious, for that. So anyway, yeah, Tom, the frying pan lighthouse it's on YouTube somewhere. It's right off the Carolina coast, right? I think it's a hotel, right? Good morning, Melinda. Yeah, hey, you all got missed, right? Didn't get a lot of action from this one. Debbie was crazy. Hard tracking that one. Fiona, holy moly, Andrew, I forgot about that one. That one's up in Canada, right? I think that ended up being one of the worst storms ever, right? For Nova Scotia. Nothing like hot coffee. I will never admit this to Julie, but, my Charger's got black wheels on it, and I had to buy some black paint to touch up a little scratch. I think she did it. She'll never admit it, but I think she hit a curb. Johnny Weaver, are you kidding me, Johnny? Johnny's my storm chasing buddy. We bumped into each other now in Beryl and Debbie. Don't tempt me, Johnny Weaver. I had Bermuda on. I even sent the screenshot to Shelly yesterday. But I just I got to get home, and I just got a bad feeling that I'm going to get stuck for a couple days, and I got to get home. Did I delete it? I think I deleted it. I deleted it last night, cleaning up my phone. Anyway, I had American Airlines flights ready to hit the button. I was so close. They weren't cheap either. How much did you pay? Mine are like $1,000. They don't rent cars. You're right, Johnny. You got to rent a little electric 2-seater. Johnny, you're gonna get gang up on Shelly. Johnny's the one that got me to go over that bridge in Beryl. There was the most wildest, what is it, corkscrew bridge they called it? Man, I'm like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. Joe's like begging me. Craig, it's too early. Yeah, it's too early for the IPA this morning. Well, I admire you. Corkscrew bridge, that's what it was. Anyway, well, keep me posted. I got to get you over here on our MWP chat so you can. American, yeah, Bob. Well, there you go. I'm not going. So we already made plans Saturday. So I hate having to make adult decisions. Oh, Shelly has the screenshot here, just so you know I'm not making it up. There you go. So, I wasn't making it up. Look, that's what I texted her yesterday. Jose, no, I got talked out of it because the airport might be delayed. And I plan on coming home Sunday. But here's the problem with this storm. Even though it might be gone, it's still going to have backside action. So it could last through Sunday. Here's the latest look here on the Euro on Friday. So it's a big system. So this is where it's really deceiving too. So here's Friday, 1 p.m. And as tropical systems are large, this one yesterday measured 700 miles safely, you could say. It's large. We'll start to see these bands Friday at 1 p.m. The heavy stuff overnight. This is about 9 p.m. Well, again, this is Eastern, so it's 10 p.m. for y'all. Here's Saturday 2 a.m. Here's Saturday 10 a.m. So the backside could still be producing hurricane conditions, even though it's been, 12 hours? large system possibly could be, really producing conditions for a solid 12 hours or so, or maybe longer, more than 12 hours. So really, this is, Friday afternoon all the way to Saturday morning, still seeing possible hurricane conditions here as this system pulls on out of here. That's a long time. With another batch of winds here Saturday at noon. I mean, being over the open water, it's a different hurricane experience because the storm isn't going to weaken over land. It doesn't make landfall and weaken. The island doesn't even make a dent in it. So this is Saturday morning. The GFS said it was a little off to the east, but still, Saturday 4 a.m. So realistically, even if things don't get too bad there, they still got to clean roads. There'll be delays. It just, And we have a lot of followers in Bermuda, so I really want to go one day. I feel like it's on my bucket list, but maybe not this time. Maybe not this time. But Johnny Weaver's kind of wild, man. He was sleeping in his car when we ran into each other during Debbie. But that's what we're at. Now, long range, let's talk about this cold front coming down here in a second. But, man, this long range, there's just nothing showing. Like, it's just eerie. Some of the long range modeling, you got a few things we can look at. One are these systems that are coming off of Africa very high right now, higher than normal. And we're getting, some signs that some might try to get going here, but like this is 10 days out. So this one's exiting north of the islands, which is very rare. Now, we had a mid-level low that kind of was Debbie, believe it or not. And I'm going to show you some long-range modeling that we could see a repeat of Debbie. Now, this is where I get into what's next and where I think we might see our next system. But Debbie was more of a mid-level low, and it took forever for it to get a center. But we're seeing this pattern of more mid-level lows coming down and possibly merging into something. So that could be where we start to see our next couple systems. But long range, looking here, 10 days out, man, that's nothing. 10 days. This is all the way to August 23rd. And we go to 15 days. Couple, maybe. Let's see what the old GFS is saying here. GFS. I just thought of that. What was the movie that I guess I could say ass. I don't know. Probably shouldn't. But you ass. I think it was Toy Story. Maybe. All right. GFS going out 10 days. There's these waves coming off. Very high. Doing nothing. This is almost the same exact thinking as the euro. 15 days. I mean, this is like unheard of. This is all the way to August 29th. Things can change. They often do. All right, but what could happen, and we saw this a little bit yesterday. We're going to go to tropical tidbits here. Look at pressure anomalies, and we're seeing a similar setup as Debbie. Laura, what's up? How you doing? How's Dunedin? Laura, we might be boating Saturday. What's up, Morgan? What y'all think of that Girls Who Chase thing? That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Beacons. Oh, yeah, the beacons. That's right. They had a newspaper article. Thank you. Well, if you see my truck, well, see, that wouldn't work. I don't want to leave it unlocked. The only thing about boating now, I got to take the damn Starlink off the back, but I can do it. I just throw it in the back tailgate. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is kind of what we're looking at down the road. This is August 16th, a couple days from now. So kind of keep your eye on the blue here. And you just kind of see maybe some low pressure here next Tuesday. Obviously not organized. There's another one coming up high. Bermuda high is way up here. Saw this a few years ago, and it's bringing off these waves a little bit more to the north. But we have that dust right now too. So, but you can see a couple bubbles here trying to come across. This is Wednesday the 21st. Kind of like Debbie a little bit. But, we got a little more of a low rider coming off. Still above the islands, though. 20 degrees. Normally it's like 10 to 15 degrees off. It's where they like. But, so you're going to see with all the models here, you got basically a few low pressure areas here a week from Friday. GFS showing the same one here, but it kind of fizzles that one out. This is your mid-level vorticity, but that's it. I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, I guess it's, here's a Canadian next Wednesday, same little blob. But that's, it's stretching it big time. Yeah, it could be all different tomorrow, but as of now, just not seeing anything. Wouldn't that be something? All these big forecasts end up not panning out. But it's not even peak season yet. Peak season September 10th. But here's that very broad spin next Tuesday, trying to make its way across maybe. But, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Oh, no, Christine, because I got the Starlink mounted on the trailer hitch. But I did order the backpack version. It's going to be here today. That's how serious I was about going to Bermuda. I red labeled it, the backpack Starlink. What's up, James? So anyway, at least I got the new Starlink coming. So I'll have they call it Starlink Mini because it runs off of DC power. Joanne, there's hope the dust could last because it wasn't supposed to be here in August. It's usually done by July. Don't talk a no-hitter. Yeah, James, we might have to change the tone. That it only takes one. But trust me, listen. It's silly to for me even to joke about the season being over because La Nina will be in full swing September, October. The ocean heat content that we haven't showed in a long time is still very warm. So, you can't let your guard down. It's just, we had the same emotions the year of Ian. There was not a named storm in July or August. There wasn't one. It's like it was a 60-day stretch of nothing. And then Ian came around. And then Nicole came around. Oh, look at this, Best Buy. I got it from Best Buy. Oh, package is out for delivery. It's out for delivery. I can track it. It says by 9 p.m. Oh, well, that's not good. So anyway, listen. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly right, Chris. So anyway, ocean heat content. Listen, I mean, the water temperatures are, this is your 10-year average, 2013 to 2023, the blue. We're above last year. Last year was hot. Obviously, we had El Nino. There wasn't a lot other than Idalia, and Lee was a massive storm didn't hit anybody, but it shows you what the power of the warm water can do. But our ocean heat content's still record hot in the Western Caribbean. Gulf is really hot. I didn't even look at this in a long time. But this is the water below the surface. This is not sea surface temperature. This is the depth of the water, which is really a better indicator of potential fuel for hurricanes. And that's the highest almost ever right there. I wonder what the gray lines are. Oh, individual. So we had years that were as high. I don't know what those years were, but the 10-year average is the blue line. And so we're almost at a record OHC for here the Gulf content. So like I said, La Nina, that there's a lot. Well, you can see right here. This is a real basic color map, but there's your water. Remember we were talking about how the Gulf was cool and all. It wouldn't take long for the Gulf to warm back up. This is why we can't laugh about the season being over when some of our worst hurricanes obviously are in September and October, and they usually get brewing down here in the Caribbean. So, but for now, things are quiet. Here's your anomaly map. Really getting hot. Haven't looked at this in a while, but it's amazing how the Gulf has warmed back up fast. This is your sea surface temperature anomaly map, and we are quite a bit. I think that's ocean heat content. Let's look at that first. Let's look at sea surface temperature, and then we'll change it to data values here. So your water temp's 86, 85. Gulf Stream's 85, 89 down by the Keys. But this is above normal. We go back to historically, and this is above the 30-year norm. So we are 2 to 3 degrees above normal in the Gulf. Still cooler on this Debbie side, but it'll warm back up. This warm Gulf Stream just pumps that water in from the Caribbean. Hot water. So there's our loop current going very deep north. That's very deep. Not usually that far north. That's the loop current, the Gulf Stream. Look at this hot water just bubbling off of the southeast coast, man. That's really, really, really some hot water here across the Gulf Stream. But big butts. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. I remember Sally, man, that was one that the models did a very good job, but there really wasn't a lot of discussion about it. Cool, going to Marco. Yeah, 20 years, Bill Barber. Yep, 20 years. You believe it? 20 years. What's up, Bobby? Well, we're going to camping. Daytona. Johnny, the wait for the backpack. The backpack one's perfect. It's still $500, $900, $599. But you can pay as you go, and they have a 50 gigabyte plan. And you can turn it off too. You're not locked into any yearly contract, so you pretty much pay as you go. But I was talking to my buddy Brandon at Weather Chasing, and what happened to him and Jonathan down in Hurricane Barrow was you have to use your app to purchase minutes or gigabytes, not minutes. I'm thinking of a phone, gigabytes. Well, what happened to them? They ran out of minute or gigabytes, so they had no way to connect their phones to Starlink to purchase additional gigabytes, and they had no communications to have anybody help log in. So that was tricky. You have the Starlink, but I think they might have tweaked it by now, but there was no way to log in to Starlink because you didn't have any gigabytes left. Very odd. But they got it worked out. I think they told me they used one of the officials down there to let them use their phone or satellite phone or something. Oh, anyway, yeah, that was a crazy video they did. So that's it. Yeah, Mike, let's talk about these dew points. All right, so this is your dew point map for Saturday morning. All right, this is nuts, man. We got dew points in the 50s here for the Florida Peninsula. Now you can see this front. My dad calls it a backdoor front, and he tracked these his whole life, and always would register the first 60-degree morning. And I think we were talking yesterday that it takes one of these weird fronts from a hurricane to kind of back in, and bring in some of this cold attic air. But if this verifies, these dew points are lower than everybody else in the whole southeast. But we could see our first 60-degree morning. Let me show you a couple of things of what's going on. So this is your surface charts for today. Here's that front. Now tomorrow morning across the North Carolina Mid-Atlantic area, you all are going to be feeling this cooler air. Here's that front. It's going to make its way down. Now here's 2 days from now. This is Friday, so it's actually going to get pushed down through the state here. High pressure here, helping dry things up. Rain, everybody's worried about rain. There's really not a lot of rain coming. Daily rainfall totals here. Let's look at QPF day 1. So here's where we're at here for today. Normal stuff popping here and there across southeast. Big storms in the middle part of the U.S. My buddy Brandon Kopak is storm chasing. Day 2, normal stuff. Friday starts. There's that front coming through Friday. It's going to push some rain to South Florida Friday. But then Saturday, look at that. We got another front coming in. This is the one that eventually is going to zag Ernesto back to the northeast as I hear thunder right now. Day 5, there's that front. Day 6. So, BOGO fronts. Steering currents are fascinating to watch. Hey, did you all see the bird video I did? That was nuts. I just can't get over those birds up in Debbie. As soon as that eye got above me and our pressures dropped, those birds came out of nowhere and they were like going crazy flying around. It was crazy watching that happen because the birds hide out in the eye of hurricanes because it's the safest place. All right, here's a cool look here on Tropical Tidbits. So our system now is starting to feel this front. Here's the front right here. It pushed our Bermuda high that way. So this rides the high pressure around. Well, then what happens is when our system gets up here, a couple days, let's go to Euro, kind of the same thing. So when our system gets up to Bermuda, right, look what happens. Our high pressure is getting stronger and starts to build back. But here comes our next little frontal line. So we temporarily get a little turn back because of this high pressure. And the question is, if this high pressure is stronger, then our system is going to go more north. And that's what the Euro is showing happening over the GFS. More turn to the north as that high pressure kind of blocks a little bit. So that's why Nova Scotia now is watching a little closer. Everybody else, though, isn't showing that yet. So Euro has not done very well this year. There's that little opening for the GFS. See that? And it kind of gets on out of here. So anyway, that's the neat things about that. But as far as that front goes, pretty neat, right? Seeing that dew point drop. Let's pull that up. Oh, let's look at the southeast here, and we'll just look at a couple things. So here's humidity, 850 humidity. You can see this big surge pushing in over the weekend. This is dry air on Saturday. Very low humidity there. Your dew points, which is kind of what your body thinks it is. Here's your dew points. There's those low ones for Saturday and some into Sunday. And there's another front coming down. I'm telling you, the fronts are ruling, man. The fronts have taken over. This strong Bermuda high that I even thought was going to stay in place is gone. Look at this. This is Monday. You will feel. If you're living in the Upper Gulf on Monday morning, it is going to feel like fall. You're going to pull up into the Starbucks and ask for pumpkin spice, and they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, it's August." Cleo, yeah, Virgin Islands just rained. It's clearing out. No more tropical storm warnings for the Virgin Islands. So it's just a rainmaker right now. They got a lot of rain. But that's wild dew points. All right, what about temperatures? Will we see 60s? Will everybody come back to my page and say, you were wrong? Minimum temperature. All right, so let's go to Saturday morning. Well, there's holy. Now listen, I'm not making this up. We got 65 degrees showing in Ocala. That means, Floridians, when you're driving 301 and you're in those beautiful green hills that we call mountains in Florida and you see the horse farms. Look at Jacksonville, 65. These are temperatures. 70 for Tampa, which means because this is coming this way, we are not being influenced by Gulf temperatures. This is coming in from that direction. So that means we're going to be cooler than the East Coast. So Shelley's in the 74 range here. Tampa's in the 70 range. Now it changes on Sunday. It goes a little farther south. But, man, there's a chance. I'm telling you, 69 in Tampa. And Sunday morning, it's a little cooler down south. We have 70 showing up in Lauderdale. Sunday morning. You will be chilly. 70 in Florida is like 50 to everybody else. You can't explain it. And the mountains are going to feel some 40s and 50s. Well, I mean, this is August. This is crazy, right? It's supposed to happen in August. My dad's got the board. I told the story this morning on the Brew crew, but we don't get 60-degree mornings in August in Florida, this far south. Let's see what the... So, technically, on Saturday, we could have 68 possibly in parts of Hillsborough County. 65, 67, 68, 65, 65. And then on Sunday... Now, what about Monday? What's Monday showing? Even though those dew points were low, it's still not that much cooler. Dew points are cooler, but still not anything more than 6. But still 60s, man. That's crazy. August, we're going to be in the 60s in the morning, even into Monday, Tuesday here. That's wild, man. Anyway, all right, enough of that. I think it's crazy. No snow, T-Bone. Hey, I met somebody at that PR Comms conference I was at that actually took advice from me one time and took their kids up to see snow. Victory. All right. Saying upper 70s for Marco Island. Well, you might be a little too close to the southern, your Naples area, so... I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to go cold weather chasing. 60s in August, right. 69 is the same as 60s, technically. So, where's my buddy Greg Montgomery at? Why didn't you chime in today? Where are you at, Greg? Probably selling generators, man. Puerto Rico, 500,000 people without power right now. We do have a map for Puerto Rico, or the Virgin Islands, and I went to. So Virgin Islands is 45,000 without power right now. So, but Puerto Rico is not on any maps. I can't find official information on Puerto Rico. I don't know what's going on. But there are 500,000. Some people said they turned the grid off to be safe, so it's hard to tell. But still 46,000 basically in the Virgin Islands. So there you go. So it's been an hour. 2 things I want to talk about, then we're going to go. I'm going to post my cruise graphic here in a second. Today would be a great day to call Kim. We're trying to get our cruise finalized and done. We're trying to maximize the experience. So we got a few more booked. They go through November, but we're going to sell out. So we're going to post the cruise graphic. So you call Kim today. It's a great day to make a cruise reservation for the 4th annual Mike Sawyer Page weather cruise in June of next year, first week of June. And since we're in a lull and there's no storms, I highly recommend clicking this link right here. Send it to all your friends and family. 30% off automatically gets applied to your discount with free shipping. It is too good to be true. But get your generator. It'll be here in a few short days. And that way, our next system, you're ready to go. And they have so many amazing products. I have 3 currently. I have a Whisper series, which is the quietest thing I've ever heard. These little guys are like, they barely hum. And they're cheap. They're like crazy cheap. Look at that, $6.79. You click on it, right? Add to cart. Watch this. You won't believe it. Now it's $4.76. I could have bought 2 with my plane ticket to Bermuda I was going to buy. And the new bad boy they just came out with is this one right here. Let me show you. This is going into motorhome one day. They got this big one. It's an inverter. Let me go to the last page. I think it's right here. These are the little... Oh, here it is right here. Look at this thing. This is massive. So look at that. Man, look at this thing. So it's the biggest inverter I've ever seen. Or inverters are quiet. Remote start. I feel like Tim the Toolman Taylor. So anyway, there you go. That my good friends over there. Really good friends. I miss them so much. Jason, where are you? We've had a few old fashions together. At one time. All right. So, hey, everybody, be good. I'm hearing thunder right now. So I have a couple cool radar sites. Google Radar and MRMS Radar. This Google Radar is simple to use. You just click on it and kind of zoom into where you want. There's why I hear thunder right now. Here's our storm. So close, yet so far away. The only good news for Bermuda, they got it weakening a little bit on approach. It's going to be merging with that frontal line, little cooler waters, you know. So let's hope the 11 o'clock track comes out and it's a little bit more shift to the west. But the latest spaghetti models, I don't think shifted much. These are the latest on Tropical Tidbits. And we really super duper zoom it. I can't even see Bermuda. I don't even know where the hell it's at. Right here. So unfortunately, a couple of them shifted back east again. So you don't want to be in the middle of spaghetti. You're kind of the meatball. I'll tell you what has trended though. A lot more are not turning as fast. So you're definitely going to want to watch this in Nova Scotia up there in Newfoundland this weekend, as this thing could get pretty close to you. Oh, anyway. Tina, yeah, I don't know about the Sands, but it's true. It's a very busy, active season. Look at the latest Fox Hurricane link here that I have, and it's a great site for hurricane stuff right there. But that's their current kind of look, and you can see it. This is the wave right here. Is that this area behind Ernesto's in, and then look what's coming off next. I mean, come on, that's typically not normal this time of year. So there's going to be a little. It's perfect timing to go to Daytona for me. Hey, the fines come out today. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Austin Dillon's going to get fined? Do you think Logano? I think Logano, his little temper tantrum on pit road is going to get him in trouble. He was revving his engine by every official, and then when he had to stop for that group of people, he peeled out again. So, all right. Well, it's great talking. Oh, just posted on the Brew Crew, Jose. I didn't even know you were over there, buddy. Awesome. Well, thanks for supporting, man. I'll take a look at it. The big cloud over me. Were you driving by? We've had solid daily rains here coming in off of the Gulf the last 4 days. It's been really weird. Talk about a pattern change, man. It's weird. I mean, we were talking about, we had classic thunderstorms now for weeks. It seemed like our set your clock at 3-4 o'clock, and then all of a sudden Debbie happened, and now it's like the pattern has shifted to no Bermuda high, winds off the Gulf. Weird. Like magnets. The weather world did a 180. Tom Frost, Wilmington. I raced RC cars there one. Logano should be parked, Chris. That might be a little extreme, but I'll tell you what, man, his temper. I really lost some respect for him. I know, Austin pushed it a little hard there, as they all have. But I guess the one thing that I've lost my love with NASCAR is these drivers, and they whine so much. I just can't handle it. They complain, and they go off to their $1 million Prevost RVs and fly home in their jets, and they complain, and they bitch, and they get mad at the fans, and and they're always mad. Chocolate Myers was on X, and he said it best, man. He's like, yeah, y'all can complain all you want until one day there's nobody left in the stands. Phil, I know, local racing, right? Local racing is a little different. But, yeah, I mean, did you see there was one angle that I saw. I mean, he almost hit those people. But it seemed like every time he went by an official, he kind of revved it like he was mad at everybody, And then when he slammed on his brakes to miss those people, then he peeled out again. I liked Earnhardt. Earnhardt took out one time, and Earnhardt just smirked at the camera. He was my man. He was my hero. If I had a hero, it was Dale Earnhardt. But he just smirked at the camera. He goes, yeah. We'll see next time. Or, basically like, I was just telling him he's number one. He never playing too much. It's a new generation. 76. Yeah, I know, Whitley. Hey, listen, I'm a dreamer, but I'm telling you, there's a chance Saturday, Sunday, somebody around you might be a little too close to the water too in Sarasota, but look at that, but you got the whole dang package there, man. Auburndale Speedway. What's Freedom Fact? What's that, Josh? Is that a NASCAR thing? I have to check it out. Don't know. Jason, I love your attitude. Oh, well, anyway. Let's see. Jerry said he talked to his dad in Puerto Rico. Said everything's good, just rains. No crazy flooding. That's great. Power been out about 24 hours. That's expected, right, Puerto Rico. But it's good. They didn't have the big winds. They just had a lot of rain. Oh, I see. That's the name of the racetrack. Okay, cool. Isn't that off 64, right? Or 70? I know right where it's at. They used to have a drag strip there. I'd love to take a lap in my car. Oh, anyway, I'm rambling on. It's 10:35. Holy moly! All right, so we got a new NHC update coming out here in a minute. We'll see what the new cone says. Really, only people watching now, obviously, are Bermuda and maybe Newfoundland. The ways we already talked about. There's really nothing left. I thought at 8 we might get a circle somewhere, but no. There's so much dust right now. So I guess it's enjoy the break. Let's talk about cold fronts in August. I just can't believe it. Never would have thought. All right. Well, everybody have a great day. All right. And hope to see you back tomorrow for our daily brew. All right. So we'll talk then. All right. See you later, alligators.